Wrestling is so crazy all the time, there's not much room to think. I mean, if you're in WWE, you've got Raw, SmackDown, maybe NXT, definitely a pay-per-view as there's 58,890 a year, plus house shows. The whole time somebody is filming something, which is why often things get through the cracks. So I'm sorry for What Culture, please do hit that subscribe button, and yep, this is 10 more wrestling segments that accidentally film things you weren't meant to see. Number 10, The Rock and Mankind having a friendly chat, even though at the time, they were feuding. Whoops. Happening at the Rock Bottom pay-per-view in 1998, the whole story was the corporation had a plan to keep the WWF title on The Rock, even though he was injured in the storyline. Rock told us that his corporate ribs were hurting, which is simultaneously the worst and best line ever, so Vince McMahon went and found Mankind to try and manipulate him out of the match, and the contract which stated if the People's Champion didn't compete, he would lose the title. The best part though was after Vince had left Mankind's dressing room with a slight smirk on his face, you can actually see Mick Foley and Dwayne Johnson having a chat at the end of the corridor. So not only did it break the illusion of what you'd just seen, but you were literally watching them put their match together. You gotta love it. Number 9, Eve Torres is cool with her own kidnapping. In 2012, Kane wanted John Cena to embrace the hate. It was ridiculous and just a play on Cena's catchphrases, but hey, you know the deal back then. At some point, everybody was going to find themselves feuding with the Big Red Machine. To try and get this point across, the Undertaker's brother then kidnapped Eve Torres in February as he decided John fancied her. It's perfectly normal behavior. Of course, he hoped this would send the man who can't be seen over the edge, and then bada bing bada boom, he would have achieved his goal. I mean, I think everybody is allowed to go nuts if somebody is abducted, but what do I know? So this was rubbish, but the worst part was we cut to this kidnapping earlier than we were meant to, and we just saw Eve walking into the ambulance where, in the story, Kane was meant to have thrown her in. It meant it looked like she was totally fine with what was about to happen, and to try and save the segment, Kane slammed the door shut, but come on now, that is like yelling into the mirror after somebody catches you preening, you're done. Number 8, Michael Cole reads the script at WrestleMania 32. I mean, this isn't a massive surprise because, yeah, people in wrestling have scripts. You may as well just accept it because it's not going away. It got snapped on camera at WrestleMania 32 though, after Shane McMahon had tried to kill himself by jumping off the top of the Hell in a Cell and missing the Undertaker, who was about 100 miles below. Stunts like this are always an issue now after Mankind and Jim Ross perfected the reaction to it in 1998, but yes, Cole didn't realize he was in the shot and you could see him reading the line, "For the love of mankind, Shane just exploded through our table." I kind of feel like we could have come up with something better than that, and again, I don't mind pre-written verbiage. I do understand why people feel this takes away from the impact, however. You want that real reaction, not a mini recital. Number 7, the other "We're live, pal" moment. Go and find the Sid Justice clip when Jim Ross reminds him mid-promo that they're live. It's so good and forever will be, and did actually kind of happen again years later. This time it featured Bob Backlund, which was kind of apt as his gimmick at the time was that he was crazy. So after Kurt Angle had retained his Intercontinental title and these two were celebrating backstage, the skit called for Bob to apply the chicken wing to a stagehand they found sitting on a box. Excuse me, box-like structure. As this guy didn't stand up though, Backlund asked whether he was going to, and when he didn't, started walking backwards as he clearly thought they had to re-record the thing. Nope, sorry Bob, we're live. Angle's face is also wonderful as he has no idea what to do, and I bet he was terrified. He was barely a year in here, must have thought he was toast. Number 6, William Regal's penis. Yes, this list is no longer PG, and neither was No Mercy 2006. Something like this was always on the cards too, because WWE loved having shower scenes throughout this period, including William Regal and Big Vito exiting the wash area while comparing how big their dicks were. We may as well say it, that's what we were doing. Given that they were just wrapped in towels though, a mishap meant by complete accident, William's tallywhacker was shown on the show. You're instantly going to go to the WWE network, but it's been censored for obvious reasons. If you were watching live, however, good grief. Number 5, Christian Cage is told to shut the flub up, though saying it were definitely not shouting flub. This ties into more common things that both AEW and WWE will always experience, because you don't ever know what a crowd is going to do. Even cutting to them is a risk, but we all know the audience is essential to the programming, so you've got to take that chance. So when you do this and apply it to someone who has just gone mega heel, e.g. Christian Cage as of June 2022, things could get spicy, and they did. Not only did everybody in the building start yelling that he should shut the F up, but we even saw one small boy joining in. Now on the one hand, that's kind kinda cute, but on the other, it's prime material for a sponsor to get upset or for there to be some kind of fallout. It's not the best look. As far as I'm concerned, as long as the kid's parents explained it to him afterwards, I think it's fine. But you've seen Twitter. Nothing is okay and everything is going to hell. Good to know. Number 4, The Undertaker gets set on fire. This one is crazy because, yeah, at the 2010 Elimination Chamber, The Undertaker was set on fire. And not in a, whoa, that's cool sense. This was a huge mistake. You'd be forgiven for thinking it was fake, given that Kane once chokeslammed his brother through their parents' graves. But this was a pyrotechnic botch that could have been far worse than it was. Happening during his entrance and when the usual fire had taken over, the director cut away as fast as they could. But when we cut back, Taker is just losing it because, again, he had been set ablaze. I don't even get how he did the match. It was also weird for fans as you saw the Phenom throw his jacket to the floor, which was not usual for the character. And as Taker has mentioned since, he had to ask for bottle after bottle of water as he waited in his chamber pod to try and cool these burns down. I mean, it is unreal, or it would have been if not for number 3, The Undertaker gets set on fire for the first time. Yep, this had happened before. What are we doing? Now, what seemed to have occurred was a mix-up. I won't call it simple, as these things have to be treated with the utmost care. But as we know, while Taker would throw his hands in the air to create light during his entrance, Kane would slam his down to create fire. You can see where this is going. Because when the dead man got to the corner and was ready to take us out of the darkness, somebody pushed the wrong button and flames came shooting out of the ring post literally centimeters from the Undertaker's face. This is insane. You can tell it was an accident, as the real-life Mark Calloway recalls in fear, because you would do. And while this did look awesome from a production standpoint, when you learn the truth, sheesh. Stuff like this literally cannot be allowed to go down. Number 2, what in the dyad? As of me talking, we do not know who are under the masks of the dyad tag team in NXT. Well, that was the idea anyway, but if you have eyes, you are well aware, because this has all gone bad. And I get that it's a cool look with the long cloak and the druid vibes, but as WWE wants these two to work in such clothes, and the clothes don't know they're being used as a disguise, well, you just see these people. It is the grizzled young veterans. Yep, I know this, the hoods have exposed them more than once. And of course, you're not meant to see any of this, but physics don't care about that. It's one of those ideas which sounds great on paper, but actually when you try to pull it off, you realize it's not going to work instantly. Number 1, Paul Heyman loses it in the production truck. At Anarchy Rules 2000, ECW booked an angle to advance a storyline that most fans were happy to leave behind. Cyrus, played by Don Callis, was a representative of the network, which was ECW's way of taking shots at their network, TNN. The storyline was Heyman's way of dealing with the restrictions placed upon his product in a way that made the promotion look like the good guys. In short, he wanted Extreme Championship Wrestling to continue to be seen as a renegade outfit, and not another WWF just because they were on TV proper, and that was a mistake, to be honest. You don't want to bang too many heads together. Cyrus's job then was to get across the network's message, and then during one of these segments, we cut to the production truck by accident. Paul realized what had happened and shouted, "What the f*** are we doing?" before we zoomed away to a Just Incredible interview. I don't think that was part of the plan, or I don't think so anyway. There is every chance Heyman did this just to get people chatting, and to be fair, we are still talking about it in 2022, so maybe he worked us all. It would not be the first time. Know of the other wrestling segments that accidentally filmed things you weren't meant to see? Please do let us know in the comments below, and then don't forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Then head on over to whatculture.com, where you can read articles like this with your eyes. Come give us a follow on social media at Simon316 or WhatCulture WWE. And there's another video out there just calling your name, Sarah. Go and listen to it. My name is Simon from What Culture. Thank you very much for letting me permeate your ears for the last 10 minutes or so. And I'm sure I'll do it again very, very soon.